Oh my gosh.
And the camera is not as good as normal.
Yeah, but it's better than my laptop camera. What we got? We got some
Hi,
Hubies.
guys.
We got some Hubies.
Hubie.
Can a brother get a Hubie? What?
A Sundance Hubie.
Yeah.
Let's get a Sundance Hubie.
Sundance Hubie.
Sundance Hubie.
Hubie. No joke. Hubie is here.
Hubie's in the house.
He's at Sundance.
We saw Hubie.
Yeah, that's not true.
We didn't.
How's everybody doing?
Oh.
We thought we would pop in just for a little shorty. I was thinking it'd be a little shorty,
Yeah, we'll
but
play.
I'm just now saying that. I was just thinking a little.
But I said shorty.
Oh, okay. I was thinking a little dirty 30.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hubie dance. Ah, pack. That's good.
Sundance, fun dance, Hubie.
Hubie.
So yes, we are here.
We're here.
We're
got
in
Park City.
We got in yesterday. We're in the house that we're staying at, so there's chatter in the other room.
There's lots of people here.
Crew and friends and loved ones that are staying with us that are going to be here.
We wanted to pop in.
We wanted to pop in and do the stream justice. We also got a little poster that's in plastic, so we can carry it safely to the premiere.
We're matching right now.
On Sunday, we're matching. We're like we're stagehands in a high school production of West Side Story.
It's extremely cold here.
Yeah.
So
we've got our little badges.
We got our little badge.
We're such nerds, but that's fine. It's really hard not to nerd out.
It's impossible.
I am not nervous at all about Sunday. Actually,
I can't tell.
I'll say this. I've already told you, but we did a tech check in the theater, and I've only been thinking about things going well from a technical perspective. But during the tech check, when it all did go well, then I started thinking, oh, also people need to think the movie's funny, which
we haven't had time to think about that.
No.
We've just had time to finish it and get here.
Right.
And now it actually has to be seen and people have to think it's funny and like it.
And it's crazy to think that, okay, so 7:00 now, Mountain Time. 2 days will be just a mere,
hours
away from a bunch of people filing into a theater to watch
350
the thing
people.
we just finished. Yeah.
We're doing just great.
But we're good, and it has been wonderful so far.
Hey, Hunter.
Hunter, what's up?
Flying out tomorrow. Woo!
Gio, you just got into Park City. It is cold.
Nice. It's very cold.
It's such a quintessential Park City Sundance. It's snowing.
It's very snowy, very deep in snow, very cold.
Yeah. We also, since there are people in just the very next room over that worked in the film, we thought we might snag one or two for a little
have some
Q&A.
Special guests.
Yeah, some special guests.
What are people saying? Should we wait? Oh no, there's a lot of people here. Should we tell people what we've been doing since we got here?
Yeah, sure. Mike James Gallagher, how are you in chat?
Gallagher.
I just saw you traveling.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
So you're waiting for a bus.
Are you in it? Are you here?
Yeah, I think so.
It's so fun to get people, the crew and cast together here.
Honestly, I think I'm more excited to show it to the people that worked on it than I might be a complete fresh audience.
Oh,
just because so many of them have not seen it.
People who have
been working on it for
blood, sweat, and tears for the last year.
Yeah.
So we all got in yesterday. You drove.
Yeah.
I flew. 6-hour delay. Not a big deal. It was a horrible
Pretty
day.
chill.
Horrible day at the airport, but I got
time.
here. Went to a little filmmakers event last night. Little filmmakers welcome last night, which was fun. Then today has just been, filmed some Onyx stuff.
We did. We shot a little Onyx sketch this morning, and then we did a TikTok. And
that was the first TikTok I've ever shot.
You kind of got, you didn't
I didn't get it at first.
No. I was going to say, you kind of got your wish, which was to always be in one of the regular Onyx videos, but you didn't. You shot it.
I shot it.
Yeah.
I'm still never been in an Onyx. I shot 2 Onyx videos today.
Yeah.
I shot an actual Onyx video and an Onyx TikTok.
Someone who is an incredibly competent performer. I had to do nothing in regards to performing today. Just cam
That's
hopping. But I think your insight as a performer is what would make you good cam hopping for sketches like that.
That's why it's going to turn out great.
I know. Okay, Brian, do you get to edit? I tell you what, actually, it would not be a bad idea.
What?
Brian is my editor for so many Onyx things.
Oh.
And I'm supposed to cut this video that we shot this morning, but it's not a bad idea to have someone else take that when we've got a lot of things stacking up. I'll email you, Brian, or I'll Facebook message you.
I have all the footage, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how we get it there.
I know. But if not this, there'll be something else soon. Onyx related to cut. Everybody should know that they can buy an online ticket. Festival.sundance.org and org. And on the 24th, online screenings open up.
Please watch the movie.
Hunter Brian did cut the Friday faves.
I miss Friday faves.
Him. Well, I'll be doing 3 new ones as a Kickstarter reward for people.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, there hasn't been any time for Friday faves.
They will be highly improvised and make total sense. Mike just got on a bus headed to Main Street. Oh, that's great.
Hero Hair in the
Hero
house.
Hair has entered the chat. It's so funny that we're all in chat, but we're also all here in Park City.
Today's been a wild day. Andrew and I have had nonstop things back to back, and we still do this at evening.
Yeah.
But we had this tiny window, which worked out so perfect.
Yeah.
Should we have people on? Or do you want
to no, I was just gonna maybe 10 minutes and grab a friend.
I love when you don't tell me the plan and then you tell me.
I know, I act like there's a run of show that had been farmed out to everyone. Except for you.
It's only in your head.
Yeah.
Well, that does happen.
Yeah, that does. Oh, but more important than all of this, Sean said that he watched Gonkers.
Somebody in chat watched
Sean,
Gonkers.
Did you really watch Doggone?
Oh, watch Gonkers.
Well,
Doggone, known as Gonkers.
Might as well just call it Gonkers. If you saw it, can you give us your spoiler-heavy review? He watched the whole thing.
Dang, Sean.
Also, somebody asked how long the online screeners can be viewed. Other people have talked about this, but I think you have 5 hours to watch it once you start it, right?
But is the one of them is that you have to watch it on a certain day at a certain time, right? Is that just the premiere?
I don't think so, but somebody can correct me. I think
you've honestly made it slightly confusing. We're sorry.
I think if you buy a ticket for the online screener, you can watch it anytime from when you start it. And I think our Q&A from Sunday night will be stitched to the end of the online screener version.
Our Q&A, yeah. Oh, we got an update from Sean.
Sean says, I couldn't stop watching it and I got more emotional than I wanted to and was mad at y'all. Whoa. I mean, I think we
Which is funny because we haven't seen it.
Yeah. I think we both know that if we watch Doggone, we'd get emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. We haven't uploaded the Olive's reaction video yet to the Sundance announcement. We just haven't had time.
We could do it though while we're here, like next week sometime.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with it. You know what I mean?
As long as people don't get mad that I push you really hard.
I don't think anybody would get mad.
Okay.
I think it's clear you're excited and overjoyed.
Okay.
Thomas says it really wasn't horrible, kind of like a Marley and Me kind of thing.
Marley and Me made me cry.
Oh, me too.
I can't watch a single animal movie without crying.
I know. The Q&A is after the movie. Yeah, correct. Oh, and Hunter says, I go by this. Sorry.
There's all these rules you don't tell anybody else involved.
I know. Hunter says that there's a Sundance Festival player app if you want to watch it on your TV. That's really good to know. Okay, why don't we? Hey, Dan.
Dan, would you like to come be on our show?
Whoa!
Wait, should we introduce Dan?
Yeah. Hey,
we're
why don't you
gonna-
sit in between us, Dan?
Come on
Oh
down.
gosh, this is.
So this is our
Wow.
wonderful
Oh my
DP,
God, I've like.
Our wonderful cinematographer, DP.
Hi.
Dan,
Dan.
Adlerside. How are you, Dan?
I am good. I just woke up from a nap about 10 minutes ago, so excuse the general fogginess of my
This is the-
manner.
That's exactly how you should enter a live stream,
I
though.
love it. Look, everybody's
Fresh out of a
stoked.
nap.
It's just weird being on this side of things.
Yeah,
I feel like I've
Welcome to our
entered
world.
the television and I'm
exactly.
looking
God.
at myself from
You're through the
anywhere,
looking
through
glass.
the looking
now.
glass. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Dan.
Huh.
What is, from your perspective, what's a scene that you are most excited to see in front of an audience, and why?
Well, it's my favorite scene in the movie. Can I tell
Yeah.
this? I think I can tell the story of it.
Oh, I think you can tell the story of it as long as you don't say what happens in the scene
Yeah, yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, you can tell the
So
story.
I shouldn't give spoilers for the entire movie
Right, yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay. Basically, there's an important scene, and we were like, how many pages was it? It was a lot of pages.
I mean, 7 or 8 at least.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It was a,
Which is a lot.
it was a daunting scene. Even if but
Scenes
basically,
are like 2 to 4 pages, mostly 3.
and it's an important scene. And like we got to lunch, and then we realized that there was no way we were going to be able to shoot it.
No, no, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, so like we put our heads together and we basically just like came up with this like totally different approach from how we had originally thought to shoot it. And I don't know how I could take some details. Like we shot it in like we didn't shoot a wide shot and we didn't shoot like standard coverage. It was all in like these like really like expressionistic close-ups.
Yeah,
And then like very subjective points of view.
yeah,
Which
from
were
you.
so perfect for this scene.
Yeah, it
But
was
wouldn't
like
have worked for any other scene. So sometimes
Right.
it's a happy
yeah. It wasn't an arbitrary.
accident or,
like,
I
they
don't know, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
yeah.
we got pushed into having to make a decision that turned into
That
something that
worked.
was probably better than what we would have done if we had had time.
Totally.
Oh, without a doubt, it's better. Now, when I watch that scene, I'm like, I can't imagine it any other way.
No.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Six Obstructions?
Oh yeah, I
And they're-
love
yeah.
that movie.
It's like this Lars von Trier thing where he has it. I'll tell it quickly because we're on a stream and people are gonna find this boring. But there's a
We go
movie
on
where,
tangents all the time.
Oh yeah, no, we can talk about.
but there's this movie where Lars von Trier has this director remake a short film he made like 6 different times.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
have seen
And
that.
each time he has like different restrictions. Like
Yeah.
one
Right.
time it has to be in Mexico. You can't have a shot longer than half a second. All this stuff. And then
Yeah.
for one of the films, he basically says you can do whatever you want and you could have whatever money you want.
Right,
This is my memory. And then that's like the worst one.
right.
The one where he had all the freedom.
Yeah.
Because like whenever he had like restrictions.
Restrictions are
Yeah.
are good for art.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you think about like, well, what are the bones of this? What
Yeah.
has to be communicated?
Mhm,
Well,
Makes
what
you get
has to
right
be
to the point.
communicated, yeah, is what wound up being communicated in the scene.
mhm.
Really, what mattered most was Onyx's point of view and the details, because we were introducing the dagger and the talisman.
Yep.
So it completely complemented the theme of that scene. And there's plenty of other scenes where if we had decided to shoot it that way, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah,
It
totally.
would have been like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But it's funny because like your mood, I remember my mood on set changing after I was like so daunting this scene.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm doing it after lunch and there's no way it's gonna happen. And then we kind of came up with this like alternate way. And then like at lunch I was like getting excited again. I was
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be fun.
totally. Well, because that moment where you realize there's not enough time left to do what we have to do, you do just want to disappear.
Yeah.
Like, that panic on the back of your neck.
Just scooch over a bit.
So then I think like you coming up with that solution, you coming up with that solution, it all of a sudden it felt like like the storm clouds were going away,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden
we
can do it, and then it felt like
Yeah.
exciting for the rest of the day.
But I should say like that's my favorite scene and the scene that I'm most excited about in some ways. But there's the scene Olivia can't wait for everybody to see, which I think also is the one that I can't
Which
wait
one?
for. I mean, there's the one scene where you're like, people are gonna lose their shit when this happens.
Oh yeah.
What? We whisper a lot. Which one? Oh yeah.
We
They-
probably talk about that on stream.
They know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Meatloaf.
because we did
Oh,
the
okay.
Meatloaf music video because we did a live reading of the script.
Oh, right.
The stream
Not
is
everyone
a
here has seen it, but like a lot of people have. A lot of the stream, they're in on it. They know what's going.
yeah. The stream is a weird pocket of people mostly know spoilers, and if they don't want spoilers, then they usually don't show up for the
Yeah.
live streams.
Got it.
Should we take an audience question for today?
Yes, totally.
Oh boy. Time for the trolls to
This
come
is so
out.
fun. We have
Yeah.
so many people here tonight. I love it.
Anybody have any questions for our director of
Oh, how do you keep?
photography?
You guys are. I never.
You don't. And I don't have my glasses on, so it's
Dan,
just,
is this your first film at Sundance?
It's my first narrative feature. I had a narrative short and I had a documentary feature. But this is my first narrative feature, which honestly feels like very different. It's
Yeah.
like the documentary feature. I love the documentary, but being here for this type of film is just like it's a different experience.
What did you shoot the movie on, and what lenses did you use, and why?
Oh, okay. Well, we shot the movie on an Alexa Mini, and we shot anamorphic with these Atlas Orion lenses. I think. Well, yeah, I mean, I certainly have a voice that projects more than I wish it would most of the time. We shot anamorphic, which is like a widescreen format, and there's a lot of reasons we did that, and it makes things besides like the widescreen, which is kind of epic and bigger feeling. We had a lot of group shots. It's a ensemble, so it's kind of easier to get people in a group.
But
the
it takes a
wider
lot
frame.
longer to get coverage.
Yeah. There are pluses and minuses to everything. The backgrounds get to be more out of focus, which is kind of cool for like the mysterious vibe. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but yeah, we shot Alexa Mini with anamorphics. Lenses look so cinematic. Yeah, cinematic's a good word for it.
Doug says, is there a specific scene or decision that you considered risky, but you took a chance on it? I mean, it's kind of that same.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That comes to mind.
Anytime you do a one shot scene, even if it's a really small moment, it feels risky.
Right.
Like
There's no way to chop it up.
there's one scene where like you sneak in and you go into the thing.
Totally, and there's no coverage of that.
Yeah.
We were going to do like a frontal shot of the cabinet, but I don't know if we did.
No, we didn't.
No.
So like those are always scary when you're like, there's nothing to cut to. If this shot doesn't work in the end, like we're just fucked. So
and you're relying on and you're relying on an element that isn't in place yet, which is a music cue. Helps kind of carry that. And you know, when you're shooting, you don't know what's going to be there. But I think that moment now totally works.
The thing, okay. Oh, can I say something?
Yeah.
But if you're just like, nah, I can't say anything.
Time's up.
The thing that was in some ways there was a lot of pressure through. I remember this. Just remember this now. But I remember saying at the time that there was a lot of pressure kind of throughout the shoot on CERT to get things right.
Yeah.
Because like in a lot of movies, there feels like there are like moments or scenes that like aren't really that like important. And they're not like driving things forward.
Totally.
But I remember I kept on saying like every single scene we were doing, I was like, this is a big moment.
Yeah.
We have to get this, or this is a big moment. So I was like, I remember it feeling different. Like, oh, well, if every moment is a kind of an important moment, then I guess that means that like this movie is like driving forward and like things are happening.
Right. It's a good sign if when we racked our brains on anything we could cut to make the day lighter, there was nothing we could cut.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing for the shoot day, but it's a good thing for the story overall. But I know we'd get to spots where we were like, can we rush any of this? And it was like, no, this is the moment where this happens. Where we learn this.
We set up everything if that's everything that comes
it's such a tight script that there isn't room.
In fact, one of the only scenes we wound up cutting two scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was Dan's idea to cut, and you knew it very early on that it could be cut.
I wanted it cut.
You wanted it cut.
That's
before we
true.
shot
There
it.
was that scene.
I wanted to cut the second we started shooting it.
Yeah.
Can you say what it was?
Yeah, Onyx is trying to,
or at least say what you had to do during it.
Yeah, Onyx is eating like a plate full of scrambled eggs.
That's not. It's a bucket full of watery eggs, uncooked, pretty much eggs, and they're going everywhere, and he's gulping them, and it's just. I've talked about.
We considered it
Disgusting.
too sensual to include.
What is that?
That's
homage to any horror movies. Some of the shots, yes.
There's a very specific sequence comes to mind, which is a bit of a spoiler. Well, we could just say this. There is a sequence from Reanimator that we pretty much recreated shot for shot.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you felt like was like,
I wonder
oh,
if people know.
I know. I wonder if people
I'm
will
very
know.
curious.
What's funny about like the way we approach the film visually is that like the entire film is an homage
Right.
in some way. Like it just has the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Like it's like you like Andrew knows those movies in his soul deep down, and that like comes out, but it's not like you're like recreating so many shots. It's like the overall vibe, kind of, if that makes sense.
No, totally. I'm trying to think like sometimes I forget. I was looking at the film the other day and I thought, oh, that is a shot that was in my head from Fright Night or something. I don't remember what it was, but most of it is just tonally at large an homage.
Yeah.
So anything in there points toward those movies. Gosh, I don't remember what it was.
But there's so many details that point towards movies.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
like everybody, like the thing on the tombstone with the the symbol, like it's just tiny things.
Right. There's a symbol on a tombstone that's from Warlock, I think. Yeah.
A lot of Easter eggs.
There's a lot of Easter eggs.
A lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah. It was the opposite of Cool Hand Luke. Casey says with the eggs, it was the opposite of Cool Hand Luke. It was like reverse
That's
Cool
so
Hand Luke.
funny.
Yeah. And yeah, we spent half the budget on eggs. Oh, here's a
Are
question.
we finally going to get an answer on how in the movie on how deep that hole goes? I mean,
kind of.
Well, actually,
Not in terms of like
we'll
actual
get an answer on that in
Right.
the sequel.
Right.
You know where it goes, but you don't know how far down it is.
We don't know. Yeah, we know
We
where
know
it
where the
goes,
hole
but we
goes.
don't have a measurement.
But I think
right.
we
The
get a
sequ-
measurement.
the
in
The
sequel,
sequel,
like
we need to know to
50
the
meters down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we really have talked about it.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Somebody asked, is there a camera you'd recommend if somebody wanted to just start shooting higher quality shorts?
Oh boy. I mean, there's so many great options these
Even
days.
just your phone works now.
Seriously. But like you can get anything with, I think any like digital SLR that shoots video is probably a good place to start. As long as it has like a 35 millimeter sensor and not a smaller sensor.
Yeah.
Then that's a little more cinematic, but yeah, there's so many good options.
Whatever you can get your hands on,
Yeah.
really, and it all works.
But look for something with like a 35 millimeter sensor. Yeah, that's the only thing I would say. But that's me.
Here's a question that's not related to cinematography.
Cool.
Is there something,
It's overwhelming with the questions,
A
right?
lot. I don't know how you guys keep track.
is there
That's why I
something
drank.
that you, well, actually, I know the answer to this, and I don't know how it could ever be explained. Somebody asked earlier if you laughed on set.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all the time.
And you did, but there was one moment that broke you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a joke in
You
the
ruined
movie.
so many shots, but it was great.
There's one moment.
What was it?
It was the stack, and it's not like a spoiler. It was the stacking of the hamburgers when you were
Oh, yeah.
skewering it out.
Right. Onyx like
In the meat hut.
skewers all of these patties. And I was really frustrated doing it because it was just an awkward bit of physical business. And it took a long
Right,
time.
but what happened is like the first effort, we're all like, there's a lot that happens on a film set to lead up to a certain point.
Right.
In other words, like, everything has been from the wardrobe to the makeup to the props to the whole crew to the lighting for this shot. And finally, you get to this moment and it's, quiet on set. Okay, things are getting real. Roll sounds, camera speeds. Okay, camera set, ready, and action. And he goes to skewer the hamburgers, and it's just the worst skewer you've ever. They just all fall apart.
And we've talked about what these hamburgers are for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So much thought went into the texture, the color,
Yeah.
and then
the-
they just.
And the timing of that is something that's only experienced in the room.
Yeah.
But it
You
wasn't.
You left.
I laughed so hard.
It was also like
You had to
4 a.m.
leave
It was
the room.
it was 4 a.m.
Yeah, we
also.
were
Just all of that build up to something that just goes horribly wrong in
Totally.
a really funny way.
It
Yeah.
is so nice to work on comedy.
Yeah.
I've worked in so many dramas and straight horror where you just never get to laugh. And we laughed every day on this thing.
Totally.
Everybody laughed.
Yeah. It really was.
But there were certain
Jovial
scenes where you
set.
should try to keep it together.
Yeah.
It's a balance, like on set. Like if there's a serious scene, you guys like, and the actors. It's all based like on the. I think on how the actors have to get to their like emotional
Yeah.
place. Like I remember the scene with you and Rivka in the
Yeah.
bed. I was like very cognizant of like wanting the whole crew to just like be quiet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
let's not
which-
make a
Well,
lot
it's
of noise.
impossible
Very
to work as an
appreciated.
actor if the vibe on set is not what you need, because that's what we need. Like just like you
Exactly.
need the lights to be read with them, we need the set to be quiet,
Yeah.
or we need to talk to us for an hour so that we can get it. It's such a delicate balance.
And I think, and actors are oftentimes looked at as being divas for this, but it's not being a
Yeah.
diva. It's really,
That's our office.
and
That's
we
our
don't
way to get it
know.
done.
Well, yeah, and it's not like sometimes just getting to a place, it feels so intangible. So if you're there and you can feel that it's going to work, you need everything else to be working too. And it can be really difficult if someone just doesn't know we're rolling and drops something and you were in that pocket. And that's when you get the Christian Bale freak out. From
Right,
the
which
Terminator
was probably like, I mean, maybe he
Probably
went a little
warranted.
far, but like
Right.
maybe
Right.
not.
Definitely probably warranted.
But also, like, I don't think it's really hard to appreciate film acting specifically unless you're on a set.
Yeah.
Because like in a play, say you just keep on going. On a film set, like I don't know if people realize how many takes you do,
Sometimes you have
or
to,
how many different angles you have
you
to
gotta
do.
sometimes you have to cry as an actor 30 times in a scene.
Mhm.
You have to do the same cry 30 times,
Yeah.
depending on the director. Sometimes twice, but like
And then like between each time, imagine you're in this emotional scene, and then someone yells cut, and then everybody starts doing things, and makeup people and hair
everyone's
people,
touching you,
and I'm being annoying. Like at that moment, can you just be a foot to your right because like the lights really like
and you're
every.
just trying not to let your lines fall out your butt. And I'm trying to stay in the moment. It's
And then imagine you're not just acting, but you're also directing.
Right.
That was the thing that you were directing, and you had a million things going on in your mind, and like, okay, the talisman has to be just like this, or like the battle cat has to be there because and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and then just snap, you're
Yeah.
acting, and it's
Yeah.
like, and then like it's also with you, like as soon as you yelled cut, you were out of it,
Yeah.
which is I think unique to you that you could go into a character so quickly and out of it so quickly. Like I
Yeah.
feel like most actors need a little bit of a go.
but
Ramp
Yeah.
up
but if
or
it's a
ramp
character you've
down.
been doing for a decade, it does get a little easier.
And I do remember doing Onyx even just a couple of years ago, it taking some time and like ramping up, and I'd have these phrases that would help me get there.
Yeah.
And I remember the day when I was like, oh, I don't need any kind of ramp up anymore. That it is just now so practiced that I can just kind of like sit into it right
But
away.
that's what happens with time too. Like
Yeah.
on season
time.
5 of Magicians,
Mhm.
I did not have to think. I used to have cues, words to get into the voice and character of
Mhm.
Alice, or like things I would do with my hair right before a take to get into the physicality. And then by season 5, I didn't have to
Yeah.
do it at all
It's
because
just in
it's
there.
just in there. And I feel like that's totally where you're at with Onyx, especially the pressure of having to film and like directing and all that stuff. The pressure of that, you're not even thinking about Onyx half the time.
Yeah. But you would catch me
I'd have to remind you.
if I was a little out of it, because there were a few moments where maybe enough was happening from a directorial standpoint where I was like not fully there as Onyx, but you would always catch that.
Yeah.
And you would too. And it is weird. It takes like just an extra 8% of sauce for it to then
And
be
it takes
fully
people
Onyx.
who know it so well around you to be like,
Yeah.
do that again.
Yeah. It's not Onyx unless like one of my hands is clenched and shaking a little bit.
But then I remember it was tough there. I think this was one that I caught. I didn't catch that much, but this is one that I caught was when you were trying to open the door.
Yeah.
And like
Oh,
you asked,
yeah.
and I was like, wait, should you maybe be like trying to be a little quiet?
Totally.
Because
Yeah.
like your normal thing is just to scream.
Just to be loud. And then we did a whisper tape, and it's what we used.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to break in somewhere, and I'm like, oh hey, let me try to break in. I can break into doors really well. And you were like, if you're breaking in, maybe Onyx whispers. But I was like, oh well,
Sometimes
yeah.
it's just those little
Onyx
logical
whispering.
things that you.
Yeah.
Has
you
Onyx
need
ever
outside.
whispered?
I don't know if he
That
ever
point?
has.
I didn't even, to be fair, he didn't
Oh,
really
wait,
whisper.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny when Onyx whispered.
It was much funnier. Yeah. Well, Dan,
Yes.
thank you. I think
I'm
we're
outta here.
We
Thanks
may
for
we
being
may
on
chat
the
with
Thank
our.
you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
stopping by the couch.
I appreciate it. It's been a lifelong dream.
Thanks for coming
Realized.
to the living room.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Have fun in the very next room.
It's getting loud. I hope they can hear us, right?
Yeah.
You guys can hear us, right?
I was gonna see if Jeremy, do you want to pop on the couch? Long
Do
time-
you want to put them in the middle or put them in the end?
Long time listener, first time caller. So
We
this
do
this is our post supervisor and VFX supervisor, Jeremy, who you may know in chat as SDMFX. Yeah, that's your handle,
That's my handle.
as the gamers say.
Put it too far away now. I can't read.
So, a question I have for you, I asked Dan as well.
Mhm.
Is there a scene that you're, without giving spoilers, is there a scene that you're specifically looking forward to seeing in front of an audience?
Oh.
And it can be from a VFX perspective or just a perspective of one of the people that was on the team, and we're curious to see how this shakes out on Sunday.
Well, I think you've talked a lot about the music video.
Oh
Dan-
yes,
that was Dan's answer.
not the details of it, but I can't wait for people's reaction for that. Reel 7, which won't make sense to anyone, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
guys will
totally.
understand, is where everything pays off thematically and visually. I
Yeah.
think that is like going to be amazing.
yeah,
And just some of the like things that I think are really funny
yeah.
that I want to know if everyone else thinks are funny.
I'm curious about the things that, because we've all watched it so many times. You've probably seen it more than anyone.
I doubt it, but a close third.
Well, yeah. I think now we're starting to find these little things funny,
Totally.
and that are like the in between the cracks type of jokes. And I'm curious to see if any of those land
I know.
for an audience that hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say, not to blow smoke up my co-host's ass, but some of my favorite things are watching Olivia's cutaway scenes where they're not
Totally.
like lines, but they're reactions to things that are happening.
Yeah.
Best in the game.
Yeah.
Sincerely, like very good, very funny, very subtle. Like you can watch it the 15th time and then go, oh
yeah.
That becomes a very layered joke as well. So
I think
it's
there's
That's
so
nice.
many, and this is a compliment. There's so many.
Bye.
No, there's so many GIF moments from Farrah and like memeable like reaction moments. Like Monday's got me like, you know what I mean? No, but there's so I've told you before, I was always so stoked on your reaction shots because they have layers. There's stuff we can't talk about from Reel 7 that's like our favorite reaction shot.
Mhm.
The one kind of sitcom-y joke that you sell with Rivka, that's one of my favorite moments.
Wait, which was it?
The one with what did he say?
Oh,
She's so cool. Yeah.
oh,
And then her face is like, did I
So
sell
cool.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
that's good. That is good.
That's a good one.
I just
Um,
remembered a good moment.
Yeah.
The multiple characters saying the same word.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's fun.
It's so well written and so well timed and so well like edited. I think it's gonna hit really
I
well.
hope so. Have you ever worked on something? The answer is probably yes, but I'm curious to know, have you ever worked on something that had such a close finishing date next to audience watching it?
Almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're used to this kind of turnaround where, pencils down and then in no time.
When I
Someone's
was
engaging
just
with it.
starting, because I'm very old, I didn't work on the film, but I had colleagues that were working on Armageddon,
Mhm.
the Michael Bay classic, and there were stories that VFX shots were being finished, and this was at a time where you actually had to have them then printed to film,
Yeah.
and then the film would be cut in and then projected.
Yeah.
There were wet prints that were going to theaters
Oh my
the
gosh.
day of the projection. So
That's wild.
it's crazy. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. and I
Movies are
tend
hard to
believe it.
make at any level. They're hard to make when you have $100. They're hard to make when you have $100 million.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
crazy. There's just
Yeah.
no easy movie.
And the adage is true. Like, however much time you have to finish something, you will take all that time.
Yeah.
You
And
will
it's never
go
enough.
into your aquarium.
Oh, yeah. Well, any questions in chat for Jeremy? He has a wealth of experience in production and in VFX.
Jeremy, what program do you composite in the most? Blender, After Effects, something else?
Ah.
Something else. It's Flame, Autodesk Flame. It's kind of the stalwart, like King Daddy, in my opinion, of compositing programs.
Mhm.
And it's great for projects like this because I also did all of the finishing, all the conform, so the entire film lived within Flame, and then within that I can parse out shots to other artists. I can do shots to myself. So yeah,
Flame.
Good question.
Hunter said, how many different versions of the film are there? Well, there's not. I mean,
There's not many.
kind of just the one.
like edits or like iterations of refinement.
On
Yeah.
a lot of movies, there's multiple versions because scripts aren't strong and they're figuring things out in the edit. On a movie that Andrew writes and makes, this is the compliment. The
Yeah,
script
yeah.
is so tight that there is no other version of the movie. It's all figured out ahead of time in the script. We shoot the script, we edit to the script, and that's it. So there really isn't any other version, but there are versions that are slightly longer that have scenes or moments that are cut, but there is no other version of the movie, which is
Yeah.
a feat.
Well, and the stuff that we cut, if somebody were to say, oh, hey, you can put those scenes back in, I'd be like, no, I think all those edits made it better.
They're great like bonus footage after
Yeah.
the fact, but the film is every time you touched it, it got better. And to Olivia's point, and this is a testament, I think, to you and Dan on the set. There wasn't like it wasn't like a coverage set, so it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna get this shot and from this shot and that way I'll figure out how I want to shoot. I want to edit it later. It was like, no, here's our general. And I wasn't there for the whole shoot, but the finale. It was like, here's our general setups, and the movie cut that way. It was written that way. The first assembly edit was as tight of an edit as I've ever seen. And then and then it was just two touches. I think you made. I think you cut out one thing and then added one thing, and then that was it.
Yeah. And those scenes, the full scenes that we did cut,
They would work in the movie 100%.
Oh, 100%.
And they'd make for good, like you said, like
Good laughs.
additional material. They
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like cut scenes now.
The Real
Which is
2
so
scene,
Yeah.
it stands on its own as its own little vignette,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
If DVD extras were still a thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you,
I may see if
Jeremy.
Clark and Mobs will pop in.
Good seeing you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
It's so nice to have you on this side of the screen.
I know.
And I just want to publicly say, there's been maybe 2 or 3 projects that I've worked on that have been as fulfilling as this. Sincerely, like just from everyone that's involved and the project itself. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That means a lot. Thank you.
See y'all.
Thank you for all of your hard work, even through, last week. We were still grinding.
Oh, the stories we can tell.
Yeah.
Should we move this out so we can have 2 guests?
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Clark and Mobs.
You want?
Do either of you want to pop into the stream?
Can we move this out so we can fit people?
Yeah, I'll slide down. I think I can take the floor.
We can kind of like.
Oh, or we
Hover?
can put it here. Is it too far?
Oh, that mic will be too far with all the noise.
Oh, you're right.
I'll just slide down.
Okay, we'll be down.
What do we
I don't know if
Oh no,
that
that won't work.
Do we go behind you guys? On the
Wait,
couch?
here you.
Yeah.
Like this. Like this.
Like
Do you
we're
like a
taking
back massage?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I'm real stressed. You got to massage me, Clark.
Hey,
So
guys.
these are our producers, Clark and Michael. And
Michael.
Clark's got
Lovingly
some
referred to as
swag.
Mobs.
Yeah.
Mobs. People call me Clark.
Oh,
And they call us Clarkle.
Clarkle.
that's right, Clarkle. So the question I've been asking all of our guests tonight, is there a specific scene that you're excited to see play out in front of an audience? And why?
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Cool. Okay. Can I cheat and answer a dual like 2 scene scenario?
I think so.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no rules.
I think
on
we'll
this
allow it.
stream.
How specific am I allowed to be? Is this a spoiler-free zone?
I mean, honestly, a lot of people here watch the live stream. I mean, the
The
live
live read. Some people are still spoiler free, which I didn't expect.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I will say I'll try to stay.
But you can name a scene.
Okay.
All right.
We'll say the first time you really get to see a creature, the box demon scene,
Uh-huh.
has been one of my favorite.
Yeah.
And also the scene that it leads into.
Yeah.
I
You can
really-
say that one.
Yeah.
Wait,
The flashback.
No?
no, not really.
No flashbacks.
Oh, not that one.
Ah!
I thought you meant
God dang it.
the
Of
Oh,
course,
it
fantasy.
leads into it. Never mind.
Leave it to me to come in here and
No,
blow
it's
it up.
fine.
Stop it. You're stuck.
Nobody will know what that means.
When you discover that
Can we
Onyx
tell
was a
them about the
robot.
8-picture
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that news breaks now.
yeah, I would say like the whole alien sequence, all the stuff in space really is really fun.
When you find out who the crystal skull belongs to,
Exactly. I think all those.
Wait, I have a second part. And then, well,
Go ahead.
the ending.
Yeah, the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just such a monstrous beast of like all of us.
You mean the climax
The
or
cli-
the ending?
Or
The climax, I would say.
My answer is, how can I say it? Oh yeah, I would say there's a dream sequence I'm really excited to see in the theater.
yeah,
Oh shit, that's the right answer.
And then
there's no wrong answer.
there's like a I will say a secret passageway I'm excited to watch.
Oh yeah.
Which I think will be a fun moment.
Yeah,
It's one of the first moments when things start to get real magical.
yeah, totally. Well, does anybody in chat have questions for producers?
Sean thinks I'm stealing all the camera time.
Do you want to show people your hat? Because people have asked.
Oh,
Guys.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, ask any
What's that
questions.
square thing? I've got my.
Oh yeah, what is that? I want to.
There's my badge underneath.
Sundanze man.
Everybody should be
You take
rocking
it off.
their badges.
Thomas says that he watched the live read several times, but is excited to see the changes. That live read, the script for the live read was 124 pages long.
Oh boy, which is not the longest version of the script.
No, we found one the other day. It was like
139, I think.
Ooh. Boy.
Definitely the version that I read
That's
for
like-
the first time is a
Mate.
leaner version.
Yeah.
I think so, but it was probably still like 112 or something.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So here's a question for any of the producers. What was the most challenging piece to have to produce? Maybe aspect or element of the film. What was the hardest thing? I have a thought.
It was definitely
Yeah.
the dream sequence that
Yeah.
was talked about
Yeah.
due to external elements, which is we owned that location that we were in
Mhm.
for the entirety of the time, except for a weekend where there was a wedding.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And
I
so
feel
we,
like every time I think about this, I get cold shivers. It's a traumatic.
We took over the entire mansion.
we
Empty.
lived in it.
Lived in it,
Empty it
every
completely out.
room, people in every room, props in every room,
And-
departments in every room, and then we had to clear it out for a wedding for
Completely.
one weekend. and then
After
come back,
shooting the dream sequence, that's
which
what you're saying?
was
Oh, wow, that's
No,
right.
it was the dream sequence was right before. So
Yeah.
the day
Yeah.
we were shooting the dream sequence,
Oh,
we
man.
knew that we were going to have a huge wrap out.
Yeah.
We also, but I will say one cool part of it is that wedding kept the shelf because it was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
That wedding has props from our movie.
Yeah, that
in
wedding
its
had props. From,
Yeah.
That's true. That I would say that was really stressful. I would feel like the anticipation of that was maybe more stressful than the actual event. We
Yeah, we're
were
pretty
so
pretty good.
stressed about it that we planned it out and it worked okay. Everything that happens outside to me was like the
Yeah.
scariest, especially because it was so cold and we were so afraid we were going to get rained out.
Yeah.
And we
People
were
were
getting
getting
rained on
ticks.
for quite a while.
People were getting ticks and
There
it
was
was
a bear.
cold.
I got a
bear
tick.
You guys
Oh, there was a bear.
Oh, yeah, we had
That's
a bear
right.
that
that
kept
walked
getting
right
in
by
our-
set.
kept getting in our trash.
That's right. And
He was a
everybody
cutie.
was like running toward the bear.
And it was cold.
Do you know how many cup of noodles I ate in the port?
Best meal.
Y'all
That's all I eat when
through
I'm
the cup
working.
of noodles.
Sodium.
It's all I eat.
Yeah. Somebody was asking how to find actors for a small short film. I mean, really depends what area. Where are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a good place to start is like look for a local theater company. And depending on what age range you need, maybe even like a college theater company. But
Or universities with
Yeah.
yeah,
programs like this.
There-
totally.
There's actors in every community.
Yeah.
Can't stop us. We're everywhere.
Can't get away
so,
from them, really.
Yeah,
There's
colleges
also a
and
lot of
theaters.
good casting websites.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can find them all online, and they do have people that are in smaller towns and stuff even.
If
Yeah.
you can just find a connection to a community of them, the great thing about them is they're always eager to work.
Yeah.
You just have to
Actors
find
are
a way
very eager to work.
Somebody said
You're just gonna get
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Sure.
Nothing
And,
wrong with OnlyFans.
Hunter, that's a good question, but it's up to y'all if y'all want to talk about it. But do either of you have any other projects that you're working on that you'd like to talk about? And if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to talk about it.
We do. We have a project coming up. It's been several years in the making. That I'm directing and Miles is producing, and I hope they'll be involved in some way.
Oh, yeah. We'll be there. Give us the call.
What's the address? What's the call time?
But yeah, we have some stuff coming up. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
A little bit darker, a little bit.
A creature kid
It's-
is involved.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
still
It is
has
involved. Yeah.
still has some creatures though.
Same DP and same production designer.
Yeah.
So we're bringing back some of the old gang.
Yeah.
Here's a question, and you don't have to get too in detail, but are there nighttime freezing cold exteriors, or
It
are
is.
there less challenging?
Are you nicer to your actors and didn't write that?
No, unfortunately, again, the
There's
final act of this movie is all outside.
It always
at
is.
night.
It always
I will
is.
say that the huge,
In rain?
the huge
Hopefully
challenge
not.
of ours, and what I'm like, why did we do this? Why did we write it this way? Is that it has a fuck ton of locations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many locations.
And
You
Onyx
did it
was
to
so-
yourself.
I did it to myself. I didn't even think about it, but it was like,
I
Age
did read that
range,
script, just being like, are you fucking kidding me?
but age range. What's the age range for the leads?
the leads are like, it'll be like early 20s playing like late high school.
Okay, yeah.
It's
So
a
you-
period piece.
Yeah.
And you won't have to worry about like the kid actor hours.
No.
Yeah.
These will all be adults.
Yeah. They'll be adults.
What would you say is the toughest part about being a producer? Oh,
The responsibility.
it's a lot. Right?
Everything kinda
It's
goes up to-
everything riding
yeah.
on your shoulders. Everyone's feelings, everyone's thoughts, everyone's needs. It's all on the producer's
You're
shoulders.
you're kind of the last line of it all goes to you, especially when you're working on an indie and it's like we don't have a company above us that we can
Yeah.
go, hey, we have a problem.
There's nobody to bail us out.
Nobody to bail you out. You are the problem
And
fixers.
to do
Yeah.
your job the right way, you really have to be allergic to credit. You have to give everybody else credit for their work, and you have to be have a big appetite for taking the blame and the responsibility. And everybody
Yeah.
comes
That is
to
a
you
good way of putting
with their
that.
problems.
So
It
it's,
is hard to do it. Sometimes, like, you don't want to do it that way. Sometimes you want to take the credit and you want the blame to fall on someone else. But if you start acting that way, the movie will not get made.
Right.
You said this in a more succinct way to me one time where you said you have to enjoy eating shit.
Dang, dude, that is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a job.
It is
Professional
not
shit
an
it is.
easy job.
No, I just
Not that any job's easy on a set, but producing is definitely not. for
Even the
everybody.
best producers, the most successful producers, will tell you that producing sucks.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
And there's no,
But it's rewarding as fuck.
it is
Yeah.
rewarding because at this point when you're like
When we're here,
at here you feel like a very proud parent
Yeah.
or like you're like and you get to be like "Oh, look at this everybody's here it's
well,
so
you can
good."
look at, I mean, you could just look at that poster and think about like
oh man.
all of the problems that you had to solve
Just to
for
get-
each of those elements
Oh,
that
yeah.
exist in the movie. There were 10 or more different problems to solve.
Last question. Hunter's asking, how is somebody who's interested in producing get started? Is it ever too late?
Oh, I owe Hunter an email, by the way. I will respond to that. Hunter, I will respond to your email.
I don't think it's ever too late.
No.
Yeah.
There's so many facets into producing, whether it be if you want to, if you have money, if you want to put up the money for something, if you want to be a PA and go the full gamut where you get an experience of all of the set, you do need to know how sets work, right?
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
work on a set. Like my advice to anybody who wants to get into filmmaking
Okay,
is work on a set and be a
Yeah.
production assistant, be a PA. That's what we all did for
Yeah.
years before we got any sort of title position. You have to know how a set is run before you can pretend you know how to run it.
For
Yeah.
And
sure.
it's not an easy job. It maybe is the hardest job. I think all four of us have a tremendous respect for production assistants. It's one of the hardest jobs on set and really important, but it's kind of thankless. But you learn everything.
Yeah.
The thing about production is whether you're a production PA or a producer, you get to be right in the middle of the action.
I learned about
Yeah.
acting from PA.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you learn about everything.
Oh, yeah.
Any sort of production, school production, even
Yeah.
working in plays, building sets. As long as you're on set there,
Yeah.
that's where you can learn.
Yeah.
And it's the only way to learn.
But
Yeah.
the word of warning is don't get lost in the grind. Always
Yeah.
know
Have a goal.
where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we'll sign off. Thank you, Clark and Mobs.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
guys.
being in chat. We will check back in next week, most likely.
We will.
And, wish us all luck on Sunday. Go to
Yeah.
festival.sundance.org to get online tickets.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Gonkers, everybody.
And
Gonkers.
Gonkers.
This shit's gonkers.
That's what we say when we sign off.
Gonkers.
Gonkers.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.